are live and recording. Hi guys, welcome back to Fake Blood, the podcast. I'm Tyler Kraft.
I'm Corey Kurlas.
And this is episode 4. And this review, we're going to have Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep,
right.
Absolutely.
And we're going to tie in Stephen King, Mike Flanagan, those adaptations, and talk about some other holiday-driven horror. So this will be fun. This will be a cute little episode.
Towards the end of the year, getting into the holiday stuff.
That's right. That's right. You know what we could do here, too? Is just wait for some people to come.
Yeah. We did that the first couple times. It worked out perfectly.
Yeah, totally. Loosen up a little bit.
Yep. I'm very glad I did look this up, though, because I had forgotten, I guess, the trajectory that we were going in. Because there's Black Christmas, is the original Black Christmas. There's, of course, Halloween, everybody knows.
Right.
But then also Michael Dougherty. He did Trick or Treat and Krampus.
I like Trick or Treat a lot.
Yeah.
But they're never going to make a sequel, right?
They talk about it
all the
to
time.
no end, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But they Trick or Treat and then Krampus, both holiday themed horror. Michael Dougherty. I don't know what he's done or if he is currently doing anything. Yeah,
I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
What's up, Andrew? We're gonna get started here in just 1 second for the review of this movie. Get a fucking couple more people in here before we get started. That Black Christmas thing, dude, is just fucking...
Yeah, I know. It's
ridiculous.
Well, to also not just have there be a... not only have there be the issues with Black Christmas, like the remake that I had already mentioned, my myriad of issues with it, but for someone to literally interpret that as meaning something wider about horror.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we got 4 people. Okay, we're going to get started now. All right. So our review for Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep, Mike Flanagan,
Spoiler free also. I don't know if you saw that, but it is spoiler free.
Awesome.
Go ahead, man. Take it.
I watched this movie, I watched it how I watch a lot of movies, which is through online, and then often I'll go see it in the theater as well. If I can give just a very surface level review before we dive into it, I honestly think it is one of the best Stephen King adaptations of decades. I'm not even kidding.
It fucking rocked.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I'm getting so excited about this one. I get excited about all these, but this one in particular, I went into it with some expectations because it is Mike Flanagan, all right, and he's the shit. He's my favorite right now. This is just gonna end up being a Flanagan kind of episode.
Flanagan-centric episode, absolutely, yeah.
So, the thing that it was for me, all right, was if you look at Alien and Aliens, and The Shining being Alien, this was totally the Aliens sequel.
Oh yeah! Well, oh my gosh! To even just go in with the idea of more is better. You have more people with the Shining ability. You have a diver deep into what the Shining is,
right?
And what the implications of what it is.
Exactly, because I mean, if you think about that, you learn way more about the aliens.
Way more, exactly.
And aliens.
Yeah. There's
just a lot of similarities there. And remember, guys, if you're in live, if you have any questions about this film, ask. All right, we'll fire away with you. We're going live for a reason. So. The thing, okay, so about that, it's just bigger, and it is it's more actiony, and the ghosts are kind of like more of a fucking...
They're more visceral. There's more to them.
Yeah.
It isn't quite, in The Shining, you see the ghosts very much as these cerebral... like manifestations of the character. Yeah, and they're almost like in his conscious, and then you see Danny Torrance and you see what he sees, and you think that that's where the mystery comes from, is these visions, the Shining. And then to see the Shining put into practice years later by somebody with it, and have it be much more of like a concrete thing, that it's an ability, and there are ghosts, and there are things out there.
Exactly.
I thought it was brilliant. I loved that.
I loved how they did that too. And and they were fucking mean.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely,
really fucking bad. Oh my god! Okay, so I'm
just responding at the moment.
Yep, just responding. All right, so everyone knows that right there. So the Flanagan touch in it for me too that was really fucking big was my personal like least favorite ghost in The Shining was the bathtub lady.
Of course, that's
and
it's so unsettling.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah,
this one too. It's so creepy to me. That part where the flashback where there's a part in the film where I'm going down the hallway, and if you remember in the first Shining, he goes into room 237, and then you don't see what happens in there, but he comes downstairs with his clothes all ripped, he has bruises, and he's sucking his fucking thumb, like something, you can't imagine what trauma could have taken place for a kid to just be frozen like that, and that scene they did to kind of just show that it was probably the worst thing imaginable.
It's so unsettling, and then the callback,
right?
That I don't want to get to. We're not going to get into spoilers on this episode.
No spoiling.
But there's yet another callback to that in Doctor Sleep. That is once again not going to get too into spoilers, but it was so. That callback that happens almost solidified the movie for me. Yeah. I was like, this is. Well, we'll get into this in a moment just because we're going to talk a little bit about the holiday horror later, but this is art. Like, that was the moment where I was like, this is something more.
Now it's a film.
That was a film. Not a movie, a film.
It is now a film.
A film, yes.
So, Dr. Sleep was, and it was fucking spooky in the sense, but there is also, I'm going to tell you guys this. If you have a kid, all right, do not take them to see this movie at all. I never really put warnings out there like that because I was, traumatized at such a young age.
Me too. Absolutely.
So, but really, there's a part they had to cast. What's that kid's name that's in Good Boys? What was his fucking? They basically had to cast a very talented child actor for this one particular scene.
Oh my god!
And it's fucking hard to watch.
So I once again, like Tyler, I was exposed to horror at a young age and other violent films. I watched Clockwork Orange at a young age and things like that. So I mean, I'm not at all.
Pull up IMDb real quick.
I'm sorry.
Pull up IMDb real quick.
For sure, yeah. That. So I have to say that there is a certain amount of distance I have from things that are traumatizing that it doesn't bother me the same way that a lot of things do. However, I was speaking to a couple that I'm friends with who saw Dr. Sleep this week. And they had knew that I had liked it and knew that I had liked some of the things in it. And they were so appalled by that scene that it was a deal breaker.
Really?
They're fans of The Shining. They like horror. A matter of fact, very big fans of Mike Flanagan's Gerald's Game and Haunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah.
And they thought that Dr. Sleep was ruined for them because of that scene.
And honestly, I can fucking see it.
Yeah.
I really
It is a brutal scene. I'm gonna say for as good of a movie as it is, and it absolutely is, and being a fan of horror, I mean, it has its place, but the scene is very terrifying. It pushes the envelope,
and it's not like a quick one either.
I think that's what makes it so frightening.
It is really drawn out, and it kind of has to be for the story, I guess, for the pain purification by pain kind of theme that's going on there.
Yeah,
but it's tough to watch for sure. But other than that, I mean, the movie itself really isn't that scary, and kind of taking it back for a second, I really loved the new Danny Torrance we got. Ewan McGregor did an amazing job.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the grown-up Danny Torrance,
doing the cocaine and fucking drinking.
Yeah, and he wakes up in some strange girl's bed at the beginning and everything. The Shining.
I thought he lived here.
He lives here in Vegas.
When I saw that, I was like,
because he's just balling it up. Like Danny Torrance is balling it up. Why was there two girls in the bed?
He needs to live somewhere where he can get a fucking 8-ball and a handle of Crown on Christmas fucking morning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's the place you can do it here in our lovely city.
Las Vegas. Yeah, he's living that Las Vegas life, definitely.
And that's kind of your introduction to him. But you can't blame the guy after you see like what happened. And also that's what was really cool was how it's it kind of takes right after The Shining. And what did you expect was going to happen? They did have to just continue their life together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's him and his mother, and they're just kind of, and there's some shit's going on.
Yeah, they've had to live with the aftermath of The Shining.
With what Jack Nicholson did. Welcome if you're just tuning in. Please, if you have any questions or anything you want to say about the film, I'm reading the comments. Go ahead and pepper them in there. But yeah, they did. They just continued their lives, as you do when something like that happens.
Yeah.
But it's like, it felt kind of...
I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess she would just get another job and continue to raise her son.
You would continue on with your life, and I think that the big, like, one of the biggest, most impactful things about this movie is that, like, he lives with The Shining. Like, he lives with that ability and that curse afterwards, and then his mother live with the abuse and fear from what happened from that trauma with his father, and it's like it's so, like, heavy, and you are thrown that right at the beginning. Like, it does not spare you anything.
It doesn't. And that's what I think. Flanagan has a very nice touch for family trauma.
Oh my God,
Hill
yes.
House. Flanagan's the director of the film, and he has just such a great way to put that kind of stress out there on, like, even emotional stress, which is the kind of the concept of the film, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think he just does that beautifully.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This film was fucking great, and I said it before, I'll say it again. It's the aliens to Shining.
Oh, it is the aliens to Shining. And another thing also is, cinematically, if I can just geek out for a second,
Thank you for the shirt. Yeah.
If I can just geek out for a second cinematically, there are a few shots in this movie because of the way that certain items are centered, because of the very beginning of the movie where you get this top-down, like, bird's eye view shot that is like slowly lowering as it opens, and then even the final one, which just has this, like, bam finality to it when what happens at the very end of the movie. And there is something about that that reminded me of, like, Christopher Nolan a little bit, like the
maze.
Yeah, with yes, even there is a, like,
patterns and shit.
That's very
Nolan-y.
Yeah, it's very Nolan. I thought it was great, though. I thought cinematically, if we're talking just in terms of cinematic style, it's one of the best horror films in years.
It really is.
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite films all year, and I love going to see these with my girlfriend, with Madison, because she's so fucking reactive to shit.
Of course, yeah. Isn't that the best? Absolutely.
And that scene that we talked about that we're not going to spoil before, but she was... I mean, I kind of looked at her and I was just like, ooh, right? Like, you okay over there?
Like, oh no.
And she's got her shirt, like, wrapped around her face.
Like, oh shit, yeah.
And she's, like, not looking, and she's, like, clearly getting a little upset.
Oh.
But, you get over it. You gotta remind them. And there's a reason they casted the kid. What's his name? Jacob Tremblay. Jacob Tremblay. That's his name. Tremblay. Okay. It's the kid from Good Boys they just had to have in this part, because you couldn't just have a kid that's been doing fucking Campbell's soup commercials come in.
That kid's said a few fucks in his life, so they're all like, you can do this.
Yeah, you can do this. You just did a kid movie about sex. I mean, we're going to put you in the doctor's sleep.
You know what? He was also, I brought this up and it took my phone a little while to load. He was actually also in Room with Alison Brie. Which was a movie that came out a few years ago. It was nominated for an Oscar. But furthermore, he was also in, and I've only seen bits and pieces of this. There's a film called Before I Wake on Netflix, actually also done by Mike Flanagan. And it's probably Flanagan's worst film, easily.
It's so bad.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was like a hiring job, so they were just like, throw money at you, don't do anything you want to do, just take our money and do what we say.
Okay.
And he did that. It was thrown onto Netflix, and that also has Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah, well, there it goes. There's a relationship right there. Also, with Dr. Sleep, we are giving this a stellar review. If you're just joining, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Easy all day.
It's
very few. You're not going to have many issues with it if you just remember that it is a movie about psychics, and that kind of telekinesis ability is very alive in it, and it's driving, and and it's almost like its own character, like their abilities, because a lot of the film, like, they do go inside their own minds, and they're seeing all this kind of like almost Inception-esque kind of.
Absolutely, there's another Nolan callback.
Yeah.
There's the character, and I was hoping we were going to get to talk about her, but there's the character that's the main villain of the film, who wears the top hat all the time and everything.
Rose the Hat.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson, which I know she's been in a lot of other things. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, though. She's going to be in Dune next year.
Okay.
There's a part specifically where she goes into this, like, dream trance thing and is trying to dig things out of the drawers, out of memories, out of people's minds and things like that.
Right.
And that was very surreal. Felt very much like Inception. That character one of the most unsettling horror villains of the past
she's
years.
Up there.
But you know what I love? There's a portion in the film, and this is like also what I think it's a very Stephen King thing, but it also made that character so much scarier, was the fact there's a portion in the film where she's shopping in a fucking grocery store. She's literally shopping in a grocery store, and you see her for being this like equally human but also frightening fucking person, and then you see the things she does, specifically these rituals and and
there's like Bud Light and oranges in the fucking shopping cart, like very like mundane.
She's just this
items.
chick, but she's like fucking evil. Like
she's beyond evil.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to horror villains, like she's in the top 5 for me.
Oh yeah. Okay,
easy.
Scary.
And you have to see it to understand it. Also, she nails it.
Oh yeah.
Because she does have that sense of duality, like you said. She's a normal person here, like doing normal person shit.
You're not even like shocked by her, but then you see what she does and you are shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you've seen that girl at the grocery store before.
Yeah, she's just some like hipster chick.
Just some she owns a fucking coffee shop in Oregon.
Yeah.
And also
just terrible fucking things, equal souls and shit. Yeah.
That was no spoiler at all. By the way.
There's a lot.
And remember, guys, ask questions if you got them. We'll answer them. So I think one of my favorite parts about it again were the revisiting of the ghosts. And have you read the book?
Yes, I have.
You did?
I did.
I have not read the book.
Oh, the Doctor? Are we talking the book Doctor? No, I've read The Shining.
You read The Shining?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the hotel does blow up in The Shining.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm wondering what they do in the book, because they do go back to the Overlook in the movie. And I'm wondering what the difference is in the book, where that last kind of act takes place. Because it felt perfect.
There are, oh my god.
In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie. Okay, so I would like to probably read the book as well, especially because I was actually interested in reading Dr. Sleep when it first came out, which I want to say it was like 2011, 2013, somewhere in between there. And I remember wanting to read it and never getting around to it, but just being so sold on the fact that this was a sequel to The Shining and being excited about it. I thought that third act where they go back to the Overlook, I thought was incredible.
Like what can be better than that?
Yeah, it's like the perfect sequel ending to anything. And then there's also this BAM, almost, I want to say I'll call it a gotcha moment because I just really don't want to spoil it. But there was the time where the curses of Danny Torrance's brain find themselves back at the Overlook, and that part was it was the best like got you, fuck you villain moment like in years.
As they say in Chubby Rain, gotcha suckers.
Gotcha suckers, yeah, exactly.
So we do have a question. Well, that's not really a question why Shelley Duvall wasn't in it. All you have to do is Google Shelley Duvall.
Have you?
And I think that'll answer that. But but you know what? They did have younger version, like flashback versions of the characters from The Shining, and they weren't CGI de-aged Jack Nicholson or Shelley Duvall. And I thought that was like kind of a purist move.
Very good.
And it felt classy.
It felt very classy. Recasting, the problem is people get so weird about recasting. If you're going to do something this far away from the original film, this long, and after this long, there's no shame in recasting a role. There's a reason Mel Gibson didn't play Mad Max in the last Mad Max movie. You know what I mean? And furthermore, I love Shelley
drinking mezcal.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrying Rose Garden fuckers. So, yeah, dude, I thought that was cool that he did it just without the de-aging. But that girl they had playing young, oh my god, I forget her name in The Shining.
Shelley
Duvall's character. Oh my god.
It's not. So, I was about to say a name.
The mother's name. Stupid. Why am I having a blank on that? But she nailed the. Daddy.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Daddy. No.
That just. That gassed out, just desperate sound.
Wendy Torrance.
Wendy Torrance. Yeah. Wendy, love of my life.
Wendy Torrance. Wendy, love of my life. Yeah.
Oh man, but she I honestly thought it was like I thought it was Elizabeth Banks for a second. I was like,
it kind of, you know what, with dyed hair, yeah, it would look like Elizabeth Banks.
But she was just that fucking.
But then the surrogate for her in this film, which would be the other little girls. But there's another little girl. That's not a spoiler. That's in the trailer and TV spots.
Yes.
There's another little girl that has The Shining, just like Danny Torrance does. Her mother is actually played by one of my favorite actresses on earth. Jocelyn,
you got a thing for her.
I fucking love Jocelyn Donahue. Jocelyn Donahue from House of the Devil, which is also.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, House of the Devil. Yep.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's the main chick. That's her mom.
Oh, that's her?
That's the mom in Dr. Sleep, yeah.
I love her too.
Yeah, she's great. And then another thing also is she's in the very beginning of Insidious 2.
Oh,
the very beginning of
Insidious. Yeah, as the young version.
Young version of the yeah, exactly.
I love Insidious 2.
Insidious 2 is better than the first one. That is my favorite.
And the third.
That has
and
one.
The fourth.
I've never seen the fourth, but I do love the third. Yeah. It's the Lee Winnell one. I like what was it? I think the second Insidious is better than the first one. I'm sorry that I'm going off on this tangent. The opening shot of that film, if you could find it on YouTube, if you've never seen Insidious 2, watch the opening shot. It's like one of the best opening shots to anything.
It really is.
Where it just keeps on
and
going
it's
forward.
Fucking scary.
It's so
that movie, I don't know why I'm getting off on it too. I'm getting off off the track here. But that movie, I remember I was seeing it with my buddy Billy, and I was like, I was having like a fit. It was just freaking me out.
It's
like the
freaky,
music
yeah.
was weird. Like everything of all the components were just really stressing me out when I was watching it. I mean, and I remember just being like, God, why am I so fucking like, what's going on with me here? My God. But anyway,
it's
when it comes to Dr. Sleep,
scary movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the fucking cross-dressing ghost.
Yeah,
it
has this like weird
so
unsettling thing to it, and there's a lot unexplained. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So, but speaking of creepy ghosts, you're gonna see a lot of that in Dr. Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So, to finish up that review, I personally am gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I mean, it really needs a 10 out of 10, but I just feel weird giving perfect ratings to things. But
me too.
It really is. You know what? I'm gonna knock it, maybe just so I can seem like a human being and say that child scene, maybe.
I'm gonna give it a little.
Even though I have no feelings about that at all. I was just kind of like, this is fucked up. I'm into this.
Yeah, from a purely horrific perspective, I mean, it fits within the film. I would say I'm going to go ahead and say 9 out of 10 too. Definitely gets a point knocked off for the child scene. Yeah. And then also just for the fact that I was gonna say maybe the pacing, but I didn't even have a problem with the pacing.
No,
I really didn't.
See, when you look it up, and the last thing I want to say about this film, the title of Dr. Sleep is sort of earned in a very, almost a fucking like origin story of a superhero kind of way. And I thought that was like, but it's very touching also.
It's very touching. A matter of fact, a few things need to be said about it. It's very touching and emotional. It and in being this like you said, almost superhero-esque origin story kind of thing, it redeems Danny Torrance. Like we now see him for all his faults, and then we see him as something more, and that's beautiful. Like it is the most emotion. It's like the emotional heart of the movie, and it speaks to who he is as a character. And it's the title of the film. Like it's so
that's
like
perfect.
Yeah,
that's
it really is.
It basically is like Batman Begins.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And he ends up. I mean, again, it's spoiler free, but how he earns that title, he does that for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, years and years and years. It's all clean. 8 years, I guess, is what it was, or something like that. But definitely go see the movie. The next thing we're going to talk about. Well, what do you give it? I give it 9.
I'm going to give it a 9. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Only just from the child scene and everything like that. But I'd probably say a 9. Absolutely.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 18 out of 20.
Sure.
There you go. That's quick math.
18 out of 20.
18 out of 20 combined.
There we go.
So when it comes to Stephen King adaptations, though, Flanagan's like fucking nailing it.
Oh my god, that Gerald's Game.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Gerald's Game, you gotta fucking.
It's on Netflix. It was straight to Netflix.
Netflix movie.
It was a Netflix movie, straight to Netflix. So you can bring it up right now.
You got Bruce Greenwood, right?
Yeah, Bruce Greenwood. You have. It's one of the best psychological, like purely psychological horrors I've ever seen.
It's so fucking eerie.
There's not even there's no. I mean, there is the villain because there's that person. That at the end.
Well, we can spoil.
Okay, yeah, I'll say some things about Gerald's Game.
You guys signed up for Dr. Sleep spoilers. So it's all off the rails.
I'll say about Gerald's Game. There is a like killer villain in it who is a scary character.
What's the Moonlit Man?
Yeah, the Moonlit Man. However, he's like secondary to the psychological horror of Gerald's Game, which I don't know how many directors could even pull that off. To have a movie about a woman who's handcuffed to a bed for like, how long? I think it's like 2 days or whatever.
Oh, it's fucked up.
Yeah, to make
and
a whole film.
Up too.
Yeah, to have a whole film about that, how you can do that and balance the emotional terror of that, especially when she starts having these flashbacks about things that happened to her and things like that.
Yeah,
it becomes very much this very real, very emotional, psychological terror, and it is beautifully done. You don't even feel bad when you're done watching it because it feels like such a good movie.
Yeah,
and it should make you feel bad.
It does have that kind of like. I think one of the most epic endings, most feel-good endings ever is Tim Burton's Batman. With that score at the end, that epic. I used to listen to that when I was a kid. That's how much.
It's great.
When it just goes up and he's standing there with bat signals in the sky. It does have that kind of feeling at the end because she conquers all that shit.
Yeah.
And she comes out this hero, but
it really
that film was unsettling, and it's funny that we're talking about it because I was just on Instagram and on Scary Flicks, and they showed the scene where the sleeve scene.
Ugh.
Oh man, that's again. Flanagan. He knows how to makes you look at shit you don't want to look at, and I just love that.
Yeah, you know that's the thing. There's always
and that's a long scene too. So he makes the most gruesome shit in his films.
It forces you to see it through.
This is gonna be a hard 40 seconds.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! And then Dr. Sleep, of course. There's a scene. Even Oculus, when that movie starts going toward the end. I mean, there's nothing too brutal in Oculus, but at the same time, as that movie nears its end, I just remember it getting so much darker and so much harder to watch toward the end.
I remember it. I do, but maybe not as well as I should.
It was the
I remember the premise, with the mirror and everything, but they can't destroy it, right? They can't break it.
They can't destroy it, and also it had spoilers for Oculus. If you haven't watched it by now, it came out in 2011. It's maybe 2013.
Whatever.
The mirror brainwashed the brother. If I'm not mistaken, I might be getting my details all wrong on this.
It possesses people.
It possesses people, and it brainwashes him to kill the family. If I'm not mistaken.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it brainwashes him to kill the family, and that ends up being that all comes out toward the end of the film. So you're thinking it's these siblings, this trauma they went through, and then you find out no, the brother did this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
At the end, right. Okay. I remember that, the end with I remember the police outside, but you know what else was kind of a callback to that? Sort of a style that he has is the eyes. When the mirror got you, it had those piercing little almost how you would see an alligator's eyes.
Oh yeah.
Flash. Same thing in Dr. Sleep with the villains.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Their eyes would get that kind of
that weird hue to them and everything.
That bright. It's just just a shimmer.
Yeah.
They're just bright. They're lit up. Like an animal or something when you get a flashlight on them or something.
And then having Rebecca Ferguson, who has naturally blue eyes, that made it even creepier.
Yeah, she was. We covered that, man. She's nasty. That's a nasty lady. Very bad hombre.
Bad hombre. Hombre, I guess. Is there senorita? I don't know.
Bad senorita.
Bad senorita.
With her hipster hat. Now you're gonna treat these bitches at Starbucks with some respect.
Exactly. They're gonna suck your souls. She does mention the hat. Which I think is cool only because it's a very small thing. Too often you do see those weird little hipstery details with characters, and it's just I wear a scarf or something, and then they don't talk about it. They just wear the fucking scarf, and then you're okay, whatever. The character
and that's so not hipsterish to not talk about.
About what you're wearing, but in the first 2 minutes of the movie. And that's unsettling too. In the first 2 minutes of the movie, she mentions the hat, and it's to a little girl, and it's so
ew.
It's so scary.
Once you find out, once you revisit and have those thoughts later, it's God, she's the fucking worst.
She's evil as fuck,
and she likes it.
And it's all
she digs it.
She's playing this game to make it all happen when she is sitting there in the middle of even the very beginning of the film. This isn't really spoiling anything. She's sitting on a tree stump in this serene part by like a stream, and this little girl like wanders just by chance, like wanders over to her, and that alone has this weird like devilish temptation kind of thing going on. Like,
I got a very Frankenstein vibe from that.
The little girl meeting by the stream edge and everything.
Yeah,
you're right. Absolutely.
I mean, it had nothing. I mean, nothing close like that happened afterward. But...
Well, no, but at the same time, it still has that visual callback, and it still gives you the same unsettling feeling that you're wondering what's going to happen to this little girl.
What's going to happen here?
Yeah.
So, fucking Dr. Sleep. I could just go on and on about this movie. I loved it. Fuck, but given the the season, also, I want to talk about some Thanksgiving horror movies, which no one has.
No one has, yeah.
But just today, we got that message about, I guess Blumhouse is doing a new film called Pilgrim.
Pilgrim is supposed to be on Hulu. And
which is, Woody Harrelson's in it.
Woody Harrelson is in it?
Yeah.
It's that's going to be very interesting just because, and we had mentioned this, I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast or if it was during just a talk that we had, but we mentioned about how like Eli Roth had that Thanksgiving trailer in the Grindhouse films, the Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez Grindhouse.
Yes, that's my favorite trailer.
Yeah, and how it's one of those things that you really want to be made into like a real movie because it's something that's such a good idea. It's something so simple. You know Eli Roth can pull it off. It's like it's so good, and even within its 1 minute 30-second existence of being a trailer, it's so good. You want to see that. However, it doesn't exist as a real movie, and nothing comparable really exists as a real movie.
No,
so I'm hoping that this Pilgrim is that.
Yeah. And it has a tagline already. White meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
All will be carved.
White meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
And also, it's like
the soundtrack. Was awesome.
And it sounds like it. And also, it's the only one. Don't get me wrong. I actually like all of those trailers. I even like the original Machete trailer and everything. Which actually got made.
There's two.
Two of them. Robert Rodriguez ran with that. I wonder why the other people didn't pick up the project.
Well, you had Rob Zombies, which was Werewolf Women of the SS.
Of the SS, yeah. Which
I'm glad he didn't do.
Whatever. You have Edgar Wright's Don't.
Yeah, that needs to be done too.
Yeah, Edgar Wright doing Don't.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
For those who don't know, Edgar Wright, I'm sure you guys know who Edgar Wright is. He did Scott Pilgrim and Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and all that.
He's that dude. And Baby Driver also.
Baby Driver, yeah, absolutely. And The World's End. There we go. We just named his whole film.
That's it. That's all. But those are all amazing movies. And Don't was his fake trailer.
Yeah. It's so great.
That was the fucking funniest to me.
It's hilarious, yeah.
If you're thinking of going in this house...
Don't.
It was just don't the entire time. And then you had that shot of Nick Frost as like a baby with like a fucking dead chicken hanging out of his mouth.
It's like, don't.
He's like clapping and shit. Like, oh, dude. That was... Man, it's a toss-up between that and Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving, yeah, exactly. For something that I would like to see, absolutely. But hopefully Pilgrim is something leaning toward Thanksgiving.
Eli Roth has nothing to do with Blumhouse. And I think that's like a feud, honestly. I don't know.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
I don't know if him and Jason Blum are like eye to eye on shit.
I can see that. It's funny, I don't know any details of that, but I can totally...
We're totally making up drama right now.
No, I was going to say, I could totally see it.
Because Eli Roth, I just don't picture him as very like...
Like, I'm going to make a movie for you.
Yeah, he's not that...
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Nah, not that. Not at all. But I think Thanksgiving would need to get made.
Thanksgiving,
because it has the fun. And Michael Biehn, I love when he works, which is rare. But he'll be in it if they do that. But I guess that's all we got for Thanksgiving horror movies. There is like a possessed turkey one. I forget what it's called.
There is okay. I know there's a possessed turkey one. There is shoot. It's gonna bug me. There is a trauma film that is I think it's not like called Thanksgiving or something, but
it is Thanksgiving.
Is it Thanksgiving
with the turkey? Right?
Okay, yeah. Oh shoot, yeah.
There you go.
So we're gonna have to look this one up, of course, but we do have
Thanksgiving. I think it is called Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it's like a fucking like
not only
totally like possessed turkey, right? I mean, that's it. That's the one.
So
with that
not
turkey.
only is there a Thanksgiving, there is a Thanksgiving 1, 2, and 3.
Well, there you go. So if you guys want some Thanksgiving horror, check out Thanksgiving. All
Absolutely,
3 of them. That's great. So Oh man, and what else we got coming up for the holidays too? This remake of Black Christmas.
We have the remake of Black Christmas. I know that we touched upon that
very briefly. How many times are they going to remake this fucking movie?
Yeah,
though, man.
Okay, they don't need to. There does not need to be another remake of Black Christmas. It is not. I don't know how to say this. I'm not criticizing it at all. But it is not the best slasher ever made
at all.
All.
We talked about this movie before. I can't stand Black Christmas.
Yeah.
I think Black Christmas is just a monumental waste of time.
Well, to me, it's just like this. It exists okay. The original 1970s one by Bob Clark. It exists. It's okay for what it is if you're just going to watch like literally a slasher that you're going to have to pay attention to. You know what I mean? It's not.
It is that.
It is not at all
so that's
like
its purpose.
A groundbreaking. It's not even Sleepaway Camp. It's not.
Yeah, that's it.
I love Sleepaway Camp. It's not anything. It is the stereotypical throwaway low budget slasher. Truth or Dare that came out, was that a Blumhouse film? Came out last year. Okay,
with the weird smiling.
Yeah, Truth or Dare is like the same level as far as I'm concerned with the original Black Christmas.
See, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's the same. It's just a throwaway ass slasher. There's nothing to it. The 2006 remake of Black Christmas, you have some big names in it. You got Mary Winstead, who's kind of a scream queen in her own right. I definitely kind of moved more into like mainstream film these days. But
so, what's the deal with the new one then? Because it looks like, honestly, like these chicks they look like the Lost Boys version
like
of
the
like
Warriors.
Chicks.
Yeah,
they have like war paint on and shit, and then.
So there's very much in the marketing, and I've said this before, I'm gonna reserve my judgment for the film. There's very much in the marketing this idea that it is like the victims fight back kind of film.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're going to be making a movie with women getting killed off and everything. I understand. That's not what Black Christmas is. That's just...
It's not what it is, though. Yeah.
At all. Let's just get that out of the way. That's not what Black Christmas is. Also, it was announced about 2 days ago that the film is going to be rated PG-13. To appeal, and this was stated by the director and by the producers, it is rated PG-13 to appeal to teenage little girls. That's
okay.
why
And the logo is like pink.
It's Black Christmas. Exactly,
Christmas, but the black is pink, and okay. Is it a female director?
It is. Her name's Sophia
Takal.
Sophia Takal. She's actually only known for one feature she did that is more of like a psychological drama. It had Mackenzie Davis in it, who we talked about last time with Terminator Salvation. But I forgot the name of the film. I watched it really high one night, and then she did an episode of the Hulu horror series as well.
The After Dark.
After Dark.
That stuff. Some of those are pretty damn good.
Yeah, hers was even pretty good
too. Oh wait, I think I might have seen that one.
It was the one with the girls, and one of them is a social media influencer, but they've all gathered to like get her back because she was like bullied them.
Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess that is kind of the perfect take you could put on Black Christmas, because it is women fighting back, I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess
more so than any other slasher, it certainly has that element of like the girls.
But not the original at all. That's what I'm saying. But you know what? I guess if you just had the idea of Black Christmas on paper, that's an easy flip you could do. Like they're I don't know. Like they fucking get all Kevin McAllister in the house. And, maybe like because he's in the attic. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know. I probably won't watch it till it comes on some streaming service, because I don't like Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to see another rendition of it. There is already a remake that I think that really fixed the one big problem I have with Black Christmas. But the killer, you have no idea what he's doing upstairs in the attic.
No.
But I don't remember the closing shot, but hopefully it's not a dead girl in a window that's in plain fucking sight.
With a bag over her head that you can see from a mile away. With her head against
the window.
Yeah.
And they zoom out. And you can, like, far away, that's the last shot, is them zooming out of the house, and you can just see this girl just put her head right up against the window. Yeah. Plain as day. Oh, man.
Nothing's going on in that house.
Oh, well, that's a very, very interesting ornament they have.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They must knock it out of the park for Halloween,
those people.
Absolutely. God, dude, it's hard to watch.
It's kind of a silly ending, yeah, absolutely. I've had people defend that ending, too.
What?
So this is two horror film endings. I have to bring this up because it's a very weird random thing. Two horror film endings that people seem to like have really weird opinions on. I've heard a lot of people defend the ending of Black Christmas, which I agree with you is pretty stupid.
No.
And I've heard a lot of people hate the end of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I think that is one of the best horror endings, maybe even one of the best endings to any film ever made.
This isn't the first time you've said that either.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite horror endings ever. Film endings ever.
Yeah, it's great.
It's such a good ending. And I literally swinging around the chainsaw, and then it cuts to black, just like right mid-swing.
Yeah,
That's a
great ending.
It's incredible.
R.I.P. Tobe Hooper. Man, we got to give him his own episode.
Tobe Hooper will have his own episode.
Toby's
in the
the
future.
dude. And Poltergeist, because there's a lot I want to say about that film.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
To give you guys a quick recap before we call it a day here at Fake Blood, Dr. Sleep, we loved it. Both of us loved it.
Absolutely.
And I love when we agree.
Yep, I love it. It was perfect. I thought that it is honestly one of the best horror films in years.
And you know what? It's really underperforming right now, I guess. It's on track to lose the studio $20 million.
Which really sucks, because how that's going to translate into us seeing more interesting, daring horror films is it's going to go back into the indie realm. You're going to see, we're just going to be given... And Mike Flanagan's going to go back to Netflix, essentially.
He won't. He's doing The Haunting of Bly Manor. You know what? I don't know why it's not... I don't know. Why it's not. It's not doing well. I don't know if it's a branding thing or... Because the trailer sure as shit does not give it justice. And I actually had a few people say that the trailer kind of threw them off. And like they're kind of like, well, this is going to be dumb.
Because the trailer at times made it look like it was a knockoff Shining sequel. It was like, oh yeah, here's some things here.
Yeah, that no one really knew about. I don't think the book got a whole lot of traction either.
Not at all.
Sleep. I don't think anyone really read it because it's called Dr. Sleep, not The Shining
2, yeah.
Like The Return or some shit, you know? Because The Shining is its own brand.
Absolutely.
So to completely change it, I don't know. I could see how that could definitely kind of switch people,
Also, something I thought about, and I actually thought about this when the book came out. Stephen King released like 4 or 5 books, which is funny because he's commented on writer characters in his stories, doing things like that. He released like 4 or 5 books within that like 2-year span. So Dr. Sleep got lost in the mix with a bunch of other random shit he was releasing. It wasn't even like the event it should have been.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. But hey, you know what? Word of mouth is everything. So if you guys go see it based on our recommendation, if you like it, you're going to tell your friends, and hopefully it breaks even at this point. Or
it should, absolutely. It
makes a splash, a late splash kind of deal. But yeah, that's that. That's that. We loved it. Go see Dr. Sleep. But again, if you have a kid, don't bring your kids. Do not bring your kids. Not because you're an insane person to bring a baby to a theater in the first place, but especially if you have like a fucking 10-year-old that understands things. No,
it's frightening.
Do not.
Yeah, it's frightening.
I remember I got up out of the theater. I stand up, and right behind me, there's like a 12-year-old little girl, and like just kind of stood up with her popcorn and just kind of walked out.
He's like, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
God.
And then she's going to be doing like a horror podcast in like 18 years.
I know.
And she's going to be like, I saw Dr. Sleep when I was a kid.
It might have been the coolest thing she's ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or she's going to need therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one or the other,
There's a divorce that probably happened.
Perfect. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, that's it for the live broadcast. This is all, going to go to YouTube, as it does. And go check it out, okay? I'll put the link in later. Thank you very much, guys. We'll catch you next time.